Narcissists are pushy, overbearing, aggressive, mean, bossy, and overall some of the most difficult people to deal with. This video is going to touch on several things that you can start doing today to shut down a narcissist, whether you're dealing with somebody at work, a friend, or a romantic partner. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. I'm a survivor of a narcissistic relationship, sharing what helped me get over a toxic narcissist. Number one, we got to talk about the obvious here. You have to leave. Once you've identified this person has a pattern of narcissistic and toxic traits, leave the situation altogether if you can. Break up, begin thinking about moving on, give some thoughts to ending the relationship, and so on. These are people who absolutely will not change, and there is no lesson that you can teach them. Even if there was something they could learn or wanted to learn, because they don't, it's really not your job to play teacher, now is it? It's your job to respect yourself and protect yourself and move forward. Now, everyone has a different situation, so not everybody is going to be able to just go on ahead and leave. Not everybody can do that, but fear not, there are things that you can do. So let's move on to number two. Understand the deal and stay calm. Narcissists say very inflammatory things, mean, cold, cruel, unbelievable, awful stuff they'll tell you. And they do it on purpose. They need to get a rise out of you, a response, a certain reaction from you. It makes them feel very powerful and very in control. These are folks who take great pleasure in knowing that they can control you and your emotions. A great way to stay calm is just simply by knowing that. And also that most of the time when these people are spouting off and all this stuff, they're lying. They're over-exaggerating, embellishing, carrying on about something that more than likely isn't even true. They yell to seem powerful. They insult to try to hurt you. It's all tactics to try to lower your self-esteem, make you weaker, and bring you down. Be secure in who you are and understand the deal, which is this. This is what they do. Don't allow this adult with a childlike mind's petty, ridiculous insults. Don't let it get the best of you. Notice the obvious and very, very pathetic attempt to gain power and control and react accordingly, which really is by not doing really much of anything at all. Let the child have a hissy fit. Number three, compliment to offset a possible attack. Now, I know this can sound extremely counterproductive, but sometimes in certain situations, we have to do what we have to do, even if we don't like it. And this is especially true in situations that we can't escape. Things that aren't just a simple breakup, you're going to take your box of your stuff and go on about your way. If you work with this person, for example, or you have kids with this person, sometimes you have to do whatever you can so that the attacks slow down or hopefully stop altogether. Giving praise to a very self-centered person, of course, is going to keep them happy for the moment while you have to deal with them. And sometimes, since you're boosting their ego and going with the flow, they will actually decide not to make you the current target of the day. If you'd like to talk with me one-on-one, you can send an email to bookachatwithjess@gmail.com, or you can visit my website. All that information is on the screen now and down in the video description. Number four, the good old compliment sandwich. I know we just talked about compliments, but sometimes you have to deliver them a little bit differently. And this is the case here. Narcissists hate being criticized in any way, shape, or form. So again, you have to treat this very delicate person as gingerly as possible. And one of the best things that you can do when you need to give them direction, criticism, or advice is to compliment them, say what needs to be said, and wrap it up with a compliment. An example can be something to the effect of, every report that you hand in is just really so spot on. I would love it if next time you could add some more details and finer points on these few things here. I know that that's something that you can do because, obviously you're fantastic at noticing the small details. something like that. You just kind of fold in what you want right there in the middle, just hang on those last words there and just give them that nice little sandwich. Will they receive it well? Again, not necessarily, but in a lot of events like this, all you can really do with someone so explosive is lessen the blow that's going to happen. Number 5, allow them to feel special. I know it's awful. Never brag about anything around a narcissist. Their ego is not going to be able to handle it. You're just going to cause more frustration for yourself than you need. Why cause them to get more angry, upset, jealous, or irritated about something? Instead, once more, like they are a child, just give them their damn moment in the sun. But really, you don't have to go all out. You can say something as simple as, wow, that's really cool, which is one of my favorite things to say, or hey, that's awesome, good for you. That really is all it has to be. But something really important, survivor, while you're kind of placating them and yeah, here you go, here's a compliment, whatever, make sure that in that process, you're not putting yourself down. This is not about boosting them and lowering yourself. This is just giving them a little something to, again, placate, hold them over, and make them go away. Focus on them. Believe me, these few little words can give them the boost they need and help minimize some of their nasty behaviors towards you, especially the more drama-filled, gossipy kind of narcs. Just, hey, yeah, that's really cool. Good for you. Really? That's all it's got to be. Number 6, trust your gut, not their gaslighting. Gaslighting is all about making you feel confused, making you doubt yourself and lose your grip on reality. When you know you're up against a narcissistic, toxic person, you have got to trust your intuition and your gut feelings. A narcissist might try to tell you that you've completely misunderstood something, or you didn't see what you thought you saw, or I never told you that. What are you talking about? I didn't say anything even like that. A very common thing that a lot of people hear. And there are quick comebacks that shut this down. Something to the effect of, well, I understand how you see things. We'll have to see things differently. Or something like, if that's what you believe, hey, that's cool. But always be sure of yourself when you say these things. Really something along the good old-fashioned terms of, we're just going to have to agree to disagree here, and that's cool. Additionally, something else that I really feel is important to talk about is if you are being gaslighted, documentation is very important. Take screenshots, save the texts, the emails, the voicemails, take notes. Also, let a narcissist know that you're taking notes or things of that nature, whatever it is that you're doing. It can be really helpful really in any situation, but a lot of times this is very helpful in a work environment with a bully. A phrase like, I'm not sure I caught everything that you said, so can you repeat that or can you email that list to me? Because I want to print out the list or write it down, whatever in your situation, so that we don't have a misunderstanding later, because that's really important to me. I want to make sure I understand everything right now. Or you can say something like, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I save all of our emails for future reference. I know that you and I, neither one of us want to have this really annoying, time-wasting conversation a second time. So I'm just going to hold on to all of our emails and I'm going to look back on them for reference if I feel lost or confused. And this does a couple of really interesting things. It lets them know that you're keeping tabs, you're saving things. You could potentially show it to their boss, or if it's a different relationship, you could show it to other friends or family, and all of their behavior is right there in black and white. It also helps because you definitely won't be misinterpreting things because you have what they've written. And if they insist after this that you still don't have things correct, you flip it immediately back on them and implore that they be more clear next time and continue to document everything. Number 7, never call them out, ever. This is absolutely fruitless. I said earlier, you're not the lesson, you're not the teacher, you're not anything. Immature as these folks are, calling them out only makes things worse. They can fly into a narcissistic rage. They can gaslight you, belittle you, use other ways to devalue you, and more. Don't let their bullshit suck you in. I know a lot of people find this disturbing, and it doesn't feel right. Some people argue that this enables the narcissist. The narcissist does not need your permission to do what they're going to do. Some people argue that, well, I don't feel like I'm defending myself. They're not interested in your defenses. They want you to shut up and do what they want you to do. They don't care. Here, I'm going to get all heated about this. If they care about what you did, if they worried it would hurt you, they wouldn't do it. They know, they're very self-aware. They're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. They're selfish. They don't care. Most of the time, this is done just to suck you into their dramatic little world anyway. They don't care about your explanations. You know, all you defending yourself does is it takes them off the hook while you're defending yourself. All your endless rounding on them and questioning them, backing them into a corner and all that stuff, all it does is make them angrier. But then they see how upset it's making you, so they just keep doing it. There's no consequence for their behavior. Nothing that calling them out is going to do is any good. Nothing works. Stay calm. Don't allow yourself to get sucked into things. Gray rock and leave the situation as quickly as possible. Number 8. Oh, the beautiful art of ambiguity. I love doing this. Like, I really do. Narcs love to argue. Again, they're going to get in your face, round on you, back you into a corner, third degree you, ask you 85 million questions like they're some kind of hard ass, they're all high and mighty, they know everything and you don't, they're right and you're wrong, insulting you, calling you names, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, it's fun to watch these people get so heated because it's so transparent of an action that they can't control themselves and they pout when they don't get what they want. But instead of diving in and, name calling them back or trying to argue your point, never argue your point. It's like talking to a wall, but save all that time, all that effort, all that energy. All you have to do is hit them with, all right, that's cool. What the hell does cool even mean? Is it cool you don't care or cool you agree? What is it? It's ambiguous. You literally give the narcissist a big old nothing sandwich. And if you can deliver a line that is just so apathetic and just so blah while remaining completely calm, like I can, it delivers a message that sounds something like, okay, so clearly you want to name call and you want to do all this stuff. You want to threaten me. That's cool. I really don't care. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about this later. Okay? That's really all you have to do. And it shuts them down. What can they do when you don't care? What can they do when they can't get a rise out of you? You are in control of your emotions. You're not going to all of a sudden behave some off-color kind of way. You're going to send that message of, yep, I got you. You think I suck. That's cool. Listen, I actually don't give a shit. But if you want to talk about this like later or whatever, I guess that's fine. Why fight with a child? It really doesn't make you look very good and it doesn't get anywhere. I don't know about you, but I'm not wasting my time there. Why would you waste your time on people who don't want to do anything but waste your time? Time is a non-renewable resource, survivor. We're not getting any of this back. Number 9, never, ever overshare. Once your alarm bells are going off for whatever reason, immediately stop sharing things with this person, especially deep, dark, intimate things with this person, or even just idle gossip about somebody in the office, something you heard from a friend or a family member. But again, especially those sensitive topics about you. Narcs can and will use those things against you that you share with them. And if you gossip, believe me, they're going to immediately go and tell the person that you were talking shit about. It's all a big bunch of problems. Keep any and all sensitive information close to your heart. If they try to probe and inquire about anything, you can always act completely clueless. Oh, I didn't hear about ABCXYZ. Maybe ask somebody else. Maybe somebody else knows. Maybe somebody else in the family knows. Maybe somebody else in the office knows. Maybe one of your friends knows. I actually didn't hear anything about that. Sorry. I'm not a good person to come to. I'm not very much in the loop. Great excuse. Number 10, boundaries and consequences. This is so important, and it does shut them down. You have to do this. Flat out, you teach people how to treat you. You teach every person in your life how shitty they can treat you, how much they can get away with, and what they can't. Narcissistic people are always going to try and will push your boundaries. They're going to test. They're going to see what they can get away with and what they can't. Boundaries are huge and need to be established with every person in your life. Understand, though, there's no need to come off as pushy or bossy, mean, insensitive. You don't have to do any of that. So right now, think of some of those boundaries that you have. We can all think of plenty of things that are unacceptable. Boundaries, however, need to be enforced. And that's where consequences come in. But remember, you don't need to be mean as you exercise the boundary and the consequence. Hey, I noticed that you called me at about 10:15 last night. I don't take calls after 9 o'clock. There's your boundary. So whatever you don't tell me before 9, I won't know until the next morning. So you'll have to work it all out before 9. And there is the consequence. If you don't tell me what I need to know before 9 p.m., I am not going to know about it. I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm not going to respond, and I'm not going to do anything until the following morning. The boundary, the consequence. And says, hey, listen, you don't just get to call me whenever you feel like it. If you need to talk, you've got until 8:59 p.m. But it's also important to maintain the standard. If they continue to call you at a time that doesn't work for you, you once again let them know. Hey, again, don't take calls after 9. You'll need to call before that. I trust you respect that I'm not always available for you. And you continue to do it. But under no circumstances do you pick up the phone after 9 o'clock. That is the consequence. The consequence, the punishment for them trying to push you is you're not responding to it. You're not going to break down and give in and start to lower your standards and what you think is acceptable. That is not going to happen. So tell me down in the comments other ways that you have learned that shuts up a narcissist, shuts them down, and puts them in their place. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.